Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from our Christmas in July themed cupcakes. We have holly on our cupcake today. I'm just having a look at the design. So this looks like cake or maybe buttercream. Then we have a zigzag where there's some icing, but then there's another layer of icing. Got holly and berries, little bow, that's really cute. So Polychromos pencils, let's come in a bit closer. Sorry, I should have been closer first so you could have looked at it with me. Maybe you could see, I don't know. Right, let's make a start on this holly. Now holly is shaped quite jaggedy, you know, hard to describe. I'm sure most of you know what it looks like, but the leaves never lie flat, they're all sort of twisty. So I think it's quite fun to do lots of different shades of green so that it reflects that sort of dips and shine and bits and bobs in the holly. So we're going to start with the dark green. I think I shall start with the pine green, actually. It's quite a good one for holly. And do my darkest areas. I'm going to do all the holly at once. Yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get 6 hands, do it all at once. I'm going to go down the middle first. Put a bit of a darker bit there. And then I'm just going to sort of choose bits that I think might be darker. And just sort of put little areas of colour here and there. Like that. It looks like it. Maybe it's going to look odd. I've never tried this before. She says, now you've all started copying me. I shall make it work. I shall. I'm feeling better now. Yesterday's video, I just recorded, but I was feeling really from the heat. And I just went off and had a coffee. It had cooled right down. It wasn't cold, but it was cool. And some oatcakes, just a dry oatcake biscuit. I find it just works. It's just a good snack for me. I feel better now. And also it just rained a little bit. And now the cloud has cleared and it's sunny. And although, you know, I'm not a big fan of sunshine, it means it's not so humid anymore. So that's nice. But in here, it hasn't really changed because I can't open the window in here. And I've got the door shut because the family are all about today. It's Saturday. So, yeah, the temperature hasn't changed that much in here, to be honest. But I just feel loads better. So that's good. Right, that is the darkest green pine. Now I'm going to do a little bit of juniper green, I think. Just pondering what colour is holly. Juniper green, I should know this. I'm just going to do some more little areas, really. Oh, it's quite dark, isn't it? Maybe I'll press a bit lighter. We don't want it to... Oh, try and go out the lines. No, try not to go out the lines. That's right. Yeah, he's feeling better. I was having a little look at the news, tennis news, not just news. Trying to avoid looking at the news at the moment. Ugh. Although, it's never a good time for news, is it, to be honest? It's better to just avoid it if you can. I used to know someone, it was really funny. I haven't seen her for a long time. But I was with her in the street, we're going for a coffee, and we met a friend of hers. And she said, oh, it's terrible, this thing that's happening with something. It doesn't matter what it was. I won't say. And I said, oh, yes, blah, blah, you know, spoke about it a little bit. And after we finished our conversation, I think I'm going to go with the emerald green. I'm just pondering and umming and ahhing and dithering. We're going to finish it here. So we're going to go over all of it. I'm going to sharpen it a bit. And my friend said, she said, I've got no idea what you were talking about. She said, I don't watch the news. And so I explained to her what it was. It was actually, it was a happy-ish story where a group of people had been trapped and they got rescued. So it was really good and they were all okay. So that was nice. But you know, it was, this looks really weird. Don't worry, I'll sort it out. So yeah, so I explained it to her. She went, oh, interesting. It was in a different country to here as well. They're happening. Anyway, it happens at various times. But anyway, everyone was fine. And I thought, you know what? This was back in the day, long time before social media really became a problem and things like that. And you know, it occurred interesting that she didn't ever listen or read the news, watch the news or anything. I find the news so terribly addictive. I really try, when it was, when was it? Lockdown. I stopped watching the news because it depressed me so much. And I was just scared about everything. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm sure we all had our own fears at that point in time. I don't need to relive those. But I stopped reading the news. This is pine green. I'm going to just do more work to get these areas looking like they make sense. So I'm just going to extend them and blend them into the emerald. Yes, I just stopped reading the news. I don't watch the TV news anyway. I don't watch a lot of TV. Well, I'm the sort of person, I don't just put the TV on. Some people do for company, and that's fine, or they like particular things on. I like particular programs at particular times, so I just find out when those are on and just watch them. Because I spend most of my time colouring, which is nice, and I don't want to always have something on, I'm quite like my own company, my own thoughts as well. And if people are in the house, I want to be able to talk to them. I don't want to be fully engrossed in something else. And often they've got things on if they're not wearing their headphones, and it can get a bit noisy. I think if I put some white on these, it's going to work, but we'll do that later. We're going to do the berries. The berries are huge, aren't they? Now, I like a really nice sort of deep red berry. Okay. So, yeah, I'm very addicted to the news. It's not a good thing. I've got a bit better. I've stopped looking at it as often because I've got more engaged in other things. But I'm going to fade this off a bit here. But no, it's not a healthy way to be, especially with what's going on at the minute. We don't need a minute by minute reminder. Even a day by day reminder isn't particularly necessary. And what I always think is, because I'm on social media a lot, if something really, really significant happens, it'll be on there. So I don't need to read the news on the BBC, but it's what I keep telling myself, but I just am rubbish at not doing it. It's like terrible addiction. I forgot to buy any chocolate today. I was going to buy some chocolate when we were in the supermarket. I don't know if they sell the one I like. I don't think they do. Maybe I have to go to the sweet shop tomorrow. I haven't had any in for a while, and I thought maybe it'll do me good not to have it for a bit, but I don't see why. I think it was because I was chatting to my sister about our cholesterol levels, and hers was 7.1, and she was told she needed to go on meds for it, and she didn't want to. So I know I don't like talking about illness and stuff too much. We're not going to dwell, but she decided she wanted to have a look into what it was that caused it to be high, so she could become more healthy in her diet. This is Caput Mortuum Violet, and I'm going to use this for the bottom of the berries to give them a bit of shadow. So we were looking into saturated fats and what sort of sauces are really bad. And of course chocolate has saturated fat, and that's quite bad. But then I don't have like tons. But if you get chocolate with palm oil in, palm oil is also saturated fat. And but I was saying coconut oil is the worst oil or fat for saturated fat, which really surprised me. I didn't know. Now, we need some colours for the cake and the icing. See, we've got these layers. See, I would want to leave it as snow. Maybe we'll do this, or maybe we'll do some lighter shades of green and red. Yeah, let's do that. It's going to show it better. So I'm going to do it leaf green for my green layer. Oh, it's upside down. There you go, leaf green. And I think I'll do this one in the green. Again, quite thick and intense, as if it's a sugar, what are they called? Not royal icing, water icing that's sort of set hard. Yeah. But also sugar can have an influence on your cholesterol. I didn't know this. Apparently, what was I reading? It was something about when you eat sugar, your body stops producing the good cholesterol or something like that. But my cholesterol was actually not brilliant. It was 5.2. It's supposed to be below 5. This is pale geranium lake. But my ratio of good to bad was at a good level. And my good cholesterol was 2.3 and it's supposed to be above 1.2. So that I think because my ratio was good, of good to bad, because sometimes the total cholesterol doesn't give you a good understanding if your good cholesterol is high or something like that. But I had these tests done, and then I just got the results on. I'm going to go back and do a bit more of this caput mortuum violet on the bottom of these berries, just to try and help them to stand out even more from that red icing. But I just picked up the results and they just said no further action needed, so I didn't get a chance to sort of discuss it with the with anybody. Yeah, there we go. Now this cakey bit, I'm going to do it in the brown, like we've done before for cake, but I'm going to keep it a bit lighter so it's like a plain cake. So this is my brown ochre, and I'm just going to start to just gently circle it on. Yeah, so I thought, well, maybe I need to be careful too. But another thing is exercise. Always, it's good. Yeah, but I don't eat, I don't eat a lot of sugar. So that might be what's helping me. My sister does. She's given it up now because she's also a bit overweight. So she's trying to reduce her sugar and lose weight. Obviously, one will come with the other. So that's really good. And she's starting to walk every day. So she's doing a lot of good positive changes, which is excellent. I'm trying to encourage her because, it's going to be all good for her. And the walking is quite easy for her because her daughter is home for the holidays from uni and she's got a dog, so they walk the dog. So that makes the walking a little bit easier. I think once her daughter goes back to uni, then it's going to become a little bit harder. I'm now going to sharpen this little pencil and I want to put a little bit of shadow under the icing here, just by making this a bit darker. So yes, and also in the winter, when it's raining or snowing, or I think actually she does quite like going out in the snow, but if it's raining or cold, windy, it's much harder to be motivated to go out. Although I find the heat worse, you know me. Now down here, I'm wondering whether to just stick with our green and, I was going to say blue, green and blue. Yeah, obviously that's what I've been doing, green and blue. So I'm going to grab this blue. It's called Deep Scarlet Red. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm going to do the bow in the red because we've already done a red cupcake case, so it'd be a little bit different for us. Now we could do it as if it was printed on the case, and then just look at the smudge. I just smudged it. I think it's because my fingers are a bit sweaty. Ugh. Hang on. There we go. This is why you're supposed to use a brush. Okay. So I think I'm not going to do it as if it's printed on the cupcake case, though. I'm going to do it as if it's actually tied round. So what I'm going to do is to reduce the amount of colour here, so it looks a bit more like it's a real bow. So it would be darker here near the knot and then a bit less going out towards the edge. Gosh, it's quite a nice red, I think. like that. But what I'm trying to encourage in her is to just be more healthy rather than worrying about any of these other things which are just not healthy at all. So just thinking about what feels good for yourself and your body and your mind, you know, because things like stress can have a big impact. So if you can just be less stressed, I was going to say, yeah, just be less stressed, you know. If you can find something that helps you to relax more, then that's going to really help you, you know, without doing anything else. So it helps the inflammation in your body and that sort of thing. If we slow down a bit when we're eating, that just can help. There's so many little things. I'm actually reading a book about it at the moment. It's a book I've had for a while, and it's got lots of little tips in it. Sorry, I have to just wipe my nose. Which are very good about how to just be a little bit more mindful, really. And I know mindful is a term we hear a lot, but I'm going to use the chrome oxide green for the case. But it's just to think about what you're doing, be a bit more aware when it comes to just looking after your body, listening to your body. You know, like I said, I just went off and got some oatcakes. I knew that I needed them. I'd been thinking about it. I might just, you know, I just fancying them. So I don't keep food in the house that really tempts me, apart from chocolate. That doesn't count. You know, not like, I don't, crisps. Crisps are my big temptation. I don't, you know, I don't keep them in. And so it's that helps a lot. But if I feel, and I try not to eat between meals, I don't think it's good for our gut microbiome and for us as a whole. For blood sugar, it's to try and help me not get diabetes, because it runs in my family. It's a genetic thing. So, you know, it's a very personal, you know, thing there, decision. But I just felt sort of weak and lacking in energy, and I feel loads better since I had them. So I knew it was the right decision. But sometimes if you don't think, you can just grab and not, you know. So it's just about thinking, conscious decisions. It's a habit that you need to form, really, about. Now I want to put some shadow under our bow and under our cake, and I think I'm actually going to use the dark sepia for this. It is quite dark. You do have to be careful. You don't want it looking like dirt or, you know, too dark. But I'm just going to put some under here. And it should make it look a little bit more 3D, but we're also going to put a bit there and there. And here. There we go. And then a little bit under here. But we do have some nice bread for lunch. This is the Lango White. We used it yesterday. I'm going to do the cherries. The holly berries first. Oh dear. Maybe my brain is still deprived. Yeah, I think my mum struggles in the hot weather. She always wants lots of ice cream. It's really tempting to buy her an ice cream maker so she could make her own, because you can obviously make it in a more healthy way, but I don't think she would bother, you know, so I don't think it's worth it. Also, she might just end up having even more, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to put some white on our holly. I don't want too much, just bits on the edge, just to make it look like it is sort of catching that light. I don't know if that was a particularly successful way to colour the holly, but it was interesting and fun. So hey. Right, there we are, another cake done. I think I wasn't very sure about it, but now I put the white on it, I really like it. It's amazing, isn't it, what a difference it makes. But there we go. So thank you for watching today. Ooh, we've got, I don't know what to do for tomorrow's. We'll have a think. Anyway, hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.